you struggling to keep track of your customers and leads, wishing you had a simple CRM solution? What if I told you that you can create your own optimized CRM in just 60 seconds? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do this. By the end, you'll be able to start tracking your opportunities with ease. But before I walk you through the process and how you can create this very, very quickly indeed, I do just want to quickly mention that I have made this pre-formatted template and the optimized script that we are going to be using to build it available for instant download. If you want to get that, there will be a link in the description below. It does come at a small cost, but I have made it as affordable as possible. It will save you some time, and also purchasing does help to support me and this channel, so we all win. Nevertheless, and with that said, here is what you are going to need to do if you did want to create this for yourself. So I've spent some time creating this particular prompt, which is working very, very well. So what I've just done there is I've selected it all, pressed Control C. I'm now going to head into our AI tool of choice, which is, surprise, surprise, ChatGPT. I've pressed Control V. Don't worry, I'll be walking you through this prompt in a second and how it's been designed. At this stage, I want to quickly mention that I am in the free version of ChatGPT. I'm in a free account. So anyone watching, you can create this. If you did have access to the paid plan, the ChatGPT Plus plan, then I would recommend using the latest model available to you. Otherwise, you can always use the standard ChatGPT. It's more than good enough for what we're looking to do here. So I've plugged this prompt in, a Control V on my keyboard. Let me just walk you through it. So the first thing we need to do is prime ChatGPT to pretty much explain who we are and then go on to explain what we're looking for. So, act as a development professional with decades of experience in creating useful templates. We could also put here something like and sales experience. Create me a CRM. Now, I've explained exactly what it is, so there can be no confusion here, even though it would understand it. I've put customer relationship management, and I could put system in there if I wanted to. Template in tabular format, not as code. It should be well formatted and organized so that I can copy it directly into Microsoft Excel. And now that will just save us a little bit of time in due course. I want it to have all the necessary columns, including and in this particular order. Now at this point, I've listed out a number of really, really useful columns, which should form as the basis of any CRM. One thing I would say is that this can be tailored to meet your own individual needs. Perhaps you've got a particular column you want to include. At the same time, you'll notice some of these, I've set this up, you can probably tell by my accent, I am based in the UK, but this is set up for a US audience. So you'll notice we've got zip code as an example, street address, city, state. But of course you can update this to your location. So if you are in the UK, you could have county here and postcode as an example. Nevertheless, I've broken this down into various different essential data points you're going to want to capture, not only around the opportunity, but also about the company and your contact as well, and just the stage of the opportunity as well. So that's what all they are there. They're all of those particular columns. I don't want to go through each and every one because it takes too much time. And then what I've said at the end, and this is really useful, and any columns and any other columns you think would be useful to include. So what this part of the prompt is doing is it's just suggesting to ChatGPT, are we missing anything here? Is there anything you would suggest that we include as well? So it's always a good little additional sentence to add. Now at the bottom here, I've said provide 10 example, and that should say entries, which are generic and high level, and that demonstrate how to populate the CRM. Make them so it could apply to any project in any industry. So I just want to make it applicable, regardless of what industry you operate within or what sales team. Now, the reason why I've done this is it just gives us it gives us dummy data so we can see how it looks when it's populated, but not only that, it just can give us an idea as to what we'd want to include in each column. So you don't have to include this, but I just think it's very, very useful. So now I've hit submit, and now we just need to wait for the tool to do its thing. So the first thing it will do is pretty much relay that it's understood your request, and then we can see it is in action. So I just need to wait now for this to finish populating. I've asked for 10, So we just need to get down to number 10. But you'll notice that we've got all of these columns set up. And as I've asked, the dummy data as well, which is really, really useful. So let me just wait till this is finished. It shouldn't take too long. I believe my internet is a little bit slow today. I don't know why, but that seems to be delaying how quickly ChatGPT is providing its output. So that's an issue on my part and not the tool. I'm going to be honest there and open and upfront. Because I have promised this to be done in 60 seconds. So I am mindful of that. Right, here we go. We've got one more to do. But what we're going to do when it's done, and it should be finished by the time I do this, is if you left click here next to O, and then we're going to drag down drag all the way across to additional comments notes, and then drag all the way down to the end of the table. So go to the end of that last cell. Control C. Now we go back into our Excel document. I'm going to open up a fresh sheet. At this stage, I would paste, and I'm going to do match destination formatting. You can do the source formatting, which you may like, but I like to add a little bit of formatting myself. I just think it looks much nicer. So the first thing I like to do is put all borders around, so you can see the actual table itself. At this point, we can remove the grid lines, so view and then grid lines off. Then I like to select all the heading. Oh no, sorry, I don't. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll do that first. I like to select all the headers, so B2 through to T2. I'm going to bold that. I'm going to put this slightly bigger font size. I'll do it at 14. I'm also going to put some grey background just to make it kind of easy to identify the headings. At this point, I like to select all of the cells in the sheet, which is this kind of reverse triangle, and I'm going to change the font to Aptos. I think Aptos is really professional and also really easy to read. Now, all we need to do at this point is just give this document a heading so that anyone who opens it understands exactly what it is. So I'm going to merge and center those. I'm going to make this bigger, and I'm just going to say, let's just say our company is called Alphatracks CRM. So just put your company name in there, and I'll put that in a kind of grey as well, again to differentiate it. And then it's just a matter of essentially making sure that all the columns have the sufficient width. So what you can do, which is quite nice, is you can wrap the text. So you could select row 4 and then go wrap text, and then let's bring this up a little bit. And then with row 4 selected, what I also like to do is middle align and also center. Now, you can, if you kind of hover over the column there and then double left click, it expands the column to the width that is required for the text to appear on one line. I'm just going to do this manually because I think it's sometimes easier. There's multiple ways you can do this, but this is probably the best. As I say, we've got the kind of US-based address here, but you can update this to your needs. Just refine that prompt further. As an example, you might want a postcode rather than a zip code. So we're going to make that larger here, and we're nearly there. Make this a bit bigger. Bang. First contact, last contact, and additional comments. Now we could also have another column like next action item or current action item, next action item. That's also some columns you may want to include. But that is essentially how you create a CRM in 60 seconds. I know it's taken a little bit longer, but that's just because I wanted to get some formatting in there. Maybe if you want to do some of this as well, you might want to change the date columns to that. You might even want to change these to currency. So in the home ribbon, you might want to put that as currency as an example. So you can go through and refine this as you want, but you'll have the base template ready in a matter of minutes. So let me just change this to date just for continuity purposes. So I hope this video is useful. Any questions, comments, feedback, drop them down below. As I say, if you wanted to pick up the one I already created and not have to type this prompt out and go through this whole process, then there's a link in the description to do that. But with that said, best of luck with your CRM, and I hope you have an excellent day.